Hello everyone. So hope guys, it's been there are so many lessons we have done and we learned a lot of vocab words. And one of my viewer asked, they want vocabulary words related to like they can use in daily conversation. So today I am going to tell you some words. Maybe it's not so common, but they are like common, their meanings are very common, so you can use in your conversation easily. Okay, so in this lesson we are going to learn some vocabulary words which you can use in your daily conversation. If you are a student, you can use with your friends in your class and in your home, also with your family members. If you want to tell a story what had happened yesterday in your college, when you are with your friends and you are going to hang out, you can use these kind of words to express, to tell a story, to express your feelings and everything. So without any further ado, let's get started. First word is copious. Copious means large quantity or number. You can say abundant, or when we said amount, it means number, but when we said copious amount, it means large number. So I have something in a very little amount, which means you have something in a very less amount. But if you said I have a copious amount of something, which means you have a large amount of something. So copious means large quantity. For example, she took copious notes during the class lecture. She went to the class yesterday and she took she made a lot of notes during the class lecture. So instead of saying notes, large amount of notes, you can say copious amount of notes. Copious notes only. It's not important to use amount in every sentence. You can say I took copious of notes during the class lecture, which means large quantity of something. Okay, this is what copious means. Let's move on to next one. Next word is contrived. Contrived means something, having an unnatural or false appearance. Something is artificial, something is fabricated. Okay, you can replace, there are two words, so you can use either contrived or fabricated. You can use, it's all up to you what you want to use. So there are, both words have the same meaning, contrived and fabricated, which means having an unnatural or false appearance. So you can say contrived, or you can also say fabricated. Both have the same meanings. Let's see the example. The storyline seems a bit contrived. So sometime when something happened, most of the time kids may cook a story to hide their faults, to hide their mistakes. So parents says don't cook up a story. You can say his story seems like a quite contrived, or his story sounds like a contrived, which means it's not sounds like a true or real. It's artificial, it's fake. You are lying to me because you want to hide your mistakes. You can use contrived in any kind of conversation. Something, when you want to express something is false, something is unnatural, or you feel like this is not true, this is artificial, it's fake, you can use the word contrived. You can use the word fabricated. Both are the same meaning. So for example, okay, let me give you one more. He was talking over the call, and when I asked him with whom he is talking, he said it's his friend. But I think his story, whatever he told me, that sounds a bit contrived, because he was very nervous that time. So he was lying to me, maybe. Okay, this is what contrived. You can use this word to express your stories, or if you want to express what someone is saying and you don't think that he is right. He's maybe making stories, he's cooking up stories, so which means his storyline seems contrived, or his storyline seems fabricated. Okay, let's move on to next. So how many times when we got angry, maybe over because of kids, they are making a lot of noises, and we got really upset and we started blustering, which bluster means talking in loud, aggressive or indignant way with a little effect also, which means like when you are very angry, and you are trying to, maybe you are teaching 2-3 kids, you are in the classroom, you are a teacher, you are teaching a lot of students, and they are, you gave them a homework, or you gave them some work that they should have to do, but they didn't. So you got really angry and you said, do whatever you want, I don't care. So you said in a very angry way, which means you said I don't care, I blustered. So instead of saying she was really angry and she said I don't care, so you can replace the word sad and you can say I blustered, I don't care, which means I blustered means I said I don't care in a very loud or aggressive voice. I was really angry and pissed off, and that's why in anger I said I don't care. So which means I blustered. This is what bluster means. Okay. There's one more meaning of bluster. Of a storm, wind or rain, blow or beat fiercely and noisily. That is also called bluster. So when a storm came most of the time, because of wind or rain, blows and beat fiercely and noisily. When the thatches of house freeze away, that sound comes, and door closed and open due to the storm. That noise, fiercely noise, is called bluster. So now you understand that these kind of noises has also a meaning exist in this language. So you can express when you are alone at home, and yesterday a storm came and this and that happened, and I was sleeping and I've heard blustered and I got up. So this is how you can express the way that this is happened with you. So bluster is also, there's two meanings. Okay, talk in a loud and aggressive way, and a sound of storm, wind, blow fiercely and noisily, that is also called bluster. Okay, so let's move on to next one. Lukewarm. So what you think lukewarm means? Can you guess the meaning? We every day, in most of the time in winter seasons, we have to do this because we get cold, and doctors always suggest them to gargle. If you have a sore throat, you should have gargles from lukewarm water. The lukewarm water means a little hot water. It's not too much hot, but a little hot. As you can take example of tea. We drink tea, we drink coffee, but if you drink too much hot coffee, then it can burn your tongue, right? So we drink a tea in a moderately warm. So that moderately warm hot means lukewarm. So we gargle with lukewarm water when we get sore throat. So that is what lukewarm means. So we should always gargle with lukewarm water. Okay, this is what lukewarm means. Next, let's move on to next one. Now you tell me that how many times you use the word important. Something which is very important. We always use the only one word, important, but there are so many words exist in this grammar world where you can replace this word important, which is nowadays becomes very important for everyone. So it's very common, it becomes very common. So now we should, I think, replace this word by using some other alternatives which sounds you more, of course, natural and advanced. So you can say, instead of important, you can say paramount, you can say essential, you can say mandatory. Essential is a word you find many times in books. So essential is used a lot in books, but you can use any one, like paramount, essential, mandatory. Both three are the same meaning. Okay, so for example, you can say helmet is paramount while riding a bike. So instead of saying helmet is important while riding a bike, you are giving them advice to someone. So you should say, instead of using the very common word important, which is not really important because it become very common nowadays. So you can say helmet is paramount while riding a bike, or helmet is mandatory while riding a bike. Okay, so this is what paramount means. Very simple, you can use every day in your conversation, and please use these words. Okay, don't forget these words after watching this lesson. Try to use in your conversation. It make you feel more impressive and natural, trust me. Abysmal. Okay, say with me, abysmal. Abysmal means something extremely bad, appalling is the meaning of abysmal. So it many times we found something in which is extremely bad. You don't even like it. You don't want to see that again. Maybe there can be food, there can be dress, there can be any place, there can be any person. So something which is very bad, extremely bad, you can say abysmal. Okay. For example, you can say to live behind the bars is abysmal. So if anyone is living behind the bar, their house is behind the bar, that is abysmal, right? Or you can also say he has an abysmal lack of knowledge, which means he has an extremely bad lack of knowledge. He knows nothing about anything related to, either it's related to politics, it's related to anything like Bollywood, any kind of news. He knows nothing about anything. So that is called he has an abysmal lack of knowledge. Okay, let's move on to next one. Okay, so do you like rain? I like so much. I really like rain or rainy season, but only that time when I don't want to step out for any work. Which means if you want to go for work and that time suddenly rain start, that is really annoying, right? But when we want to stay home, when we are going to stay home and suddenly the weather change and rain is started, that gives you a very pleasant feeling, right? So practical is a word you can express to say that kind of pleasant smell from the first rain after a long period of warm weather. So in summer season, we always, after the month of May and June, we are aggressively waiting for rain, because it's been a long time, very warm period, very warm weather. So now we want to get some cold weather, some pleasant weather. Next is prolong. This word you are going to use many times in your conversation, because it has a very simple meaning and very easy to use. And this word is not maybe very common, but if you start using it, will help you to express in many ways. So prolong means extended duration of something. Maybe you want to extend the duration of time, you want to extend the duration of anything, that is called prolong. For example, the doctor prolonged the patient's life for some more days by a good treatment. So doctor prolongs the patient's life to give some more days by a good treatment. And you can also say, if you went to your friend's home and you called your parents that I'll be back in 2 days, and your friend is insisting you to stay at least 1 week. So you called your parents and said, we prolonged our stay, which means we extend the duration of time. That I told you that I am going to stay in for 2 days, but now I am going to stay in for 1 week. So what I did, I prolonged my stay, which means I extend the duration of time of my stay. I am going to stay 1 week, so I prolonged my stay. We prolonged our stay. You can also use in this way also, and you can also use like in the sense of doctors prolongs the patient's life for some more days by a good treatment. There are so many ways you can use. Maybe you are in a class lecture and your class lecture is at least 40 minutes, and that day maybe you have a teacher, they have a lot of time, there is no period after that session, after that lecture, so they are going to prolong that lecture. So instead of giving a lecture in 40 minutes, they extend the duration of 60 minutes. So 20 minutes they prolonged that lecture time. Okay, now I hope you understand the prolong means. So this is how you can use these words. These are not very uncommon words. You can use in your conversation. And one of my viewers asked to make a video on those words that we can use in daily life, day-to-day conversation. And the word which I told you in this lesson are those common words that you can easily use in your conversation. So go ahead, use those words, and don't give up. You will learn English. You are learning and you will get whatever you want, your goal. You just need to stick to it. Okay, so until then I'll back with a very beautiful lesson for you. Until then, take care everyone. Bye.